Hey everyone, it's Marianne from the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees. I want to start with another video regarding the MLC meeting and the misinformation. The one thing that's been consistent is that the United Federation of Teachers, DC 37, a few of the other unions under the umbrella leadership of the MLC, Municipal Labor Committee, keep saying that Councilman Barron's Bill 1099 would impair the unions from collectively bargaining. And we know that that's false. A union can only collectively bargain for those in their unit. They can't bargain for someone that is not a union member of their own local. Okay. So for them to say that we would impair their ability to collectively bargain is false. We are not in their unit. We do not collectively bargain. They do not bargain for us. We do not vote for their union members, and we do not vote on their contracts. Now, there's one or two unions that do allow some of their retirees to vote, not all of them, and their votes don't count as a full weighted vote. For example, like the United Federation of Teachers. And if you ever look at their votes, they have more retirees voting than they do active members. If that stopped, Michael Mulgrew would never get elected. So this is why that union especially allows their retirees to vote, because they are constantly being told to do what the union loyalty line is, and they're a little bit out of the loop when it comes as to what's going on. They're voting more on loyalty than they are on what's factually happening to them. Because in their situation, most of those retirees would never fathom that their unions would have sold them out. I mean, we didn't either. It took us a while to recognize what was happening to us, but that's exactly what was happening, what did happen, and what is happening. But a union doesn't bargain for current retirees. A union can negotiate for their active workers and for their future retirement benefits, but they cannot negotiate for a retired person. Basically, I could be like a plumber, and Michael Mulgrew can't negotiate for plumbers. So plumbers are not in his bargaining unit, and he has absolutely no right to vote for to negotiate for a plumber. Plumbers are negotiated. They negotiate under a plumbers union, not the UFT. I am not in the UFT. I am not in DC 37. I am not in the plumbers union. They can't bargain for me. They can bargain for themselves. At this point in our life, a Medicare eligible retiree is a civilian, a pure non-union person. And yet you even still have non-union retirees like managers, council persons, mayors, former deputy mayors, lawyers. These are people that weren't in a union ever. So how is it possible that that could happen to them as well? They can't. This should not be bound. They should not be bound by these decisions by our former union leaders, and they don't even have a union leader because they were considered management or policymakers. So I want to listen to yet another audio from the same MLC meeting where another union leader says it's a 2-sentence bill. And I don't believe that this is illegal. I believe what you're saying is you don't like the legislation because it pauses or locks in a retiree's benefit that you can't sell off the value for to collectively bargain for yourself. Listen to this.
James Davis.
So thanks. I had a similar question to the one that Dave just asked, and I asked it on Monday. Responses, and we haven't been supportive as a union of Barron's Bill, but I had the same question about just the plain language interpretation of that last line, which seems to go out of its way precisely to address the concern that it would impinge on the MLC or unions to negotiate health care. Clearly, it does seek to freeze the retiree health care. But I think, Alan Klinger, what I hear you saying is that the concern is about the fiscal pressure that will be placed on, that could come because of, if this were to pass, because of freezing retiree health care and raising the costs that the city would have to absorb. Which that just, to me, that sounds different from saying that legally this is illegal, that this would violate the Taylor law. So we're going to abstain on this vote, just as I did on Monday. And I just wanted to express that for my ear, those sound like two different things. I'm not a lawyer, but that's why we're going to abstain. Thank you.
I mean, the first part, you certainly have right about how it affects on the bargaining, the sort of leverage the city would have. But we also think that we have the right, whether it's the MLC or individual unions, that we believe that we have the right to negotiate retiree benefits because it impacts our active in-service population will then become retirees. So that we think it actually is also violative of law for our bargaining rights, and the law department takes the position that.
So what is he saying there? They are looking for any pot of money that they can get their greedy little hands in order to negotiate something for themselves, sell off something, even if it doesn't belong to them. And this is what they've been doing with the stabilization fund. That stabilization fund was a community pot of money meant to pay the premium difference for all active workers and non-Medicare retirees. And they misused that money. The teachers union took $1 billion out of it. Henry Garrido and the Municipal Labor Committee, many of those unions allowed him to do it. And part of the deal to sweeten it up to allow him to get away with that is that they negotiated that every one of those unions would be able to take an additional $100 or $165 in total since 2014 for every one of those unions, retirees and active members. They drained that fund. And now they went looking for another piggy bank to rob to pay for themselves. And they would have got away with it had we not been awake and watching and pushed back and found attorneys that were willing to sue the city and say, stop this. So yes, this is now two people, the PBA and the Professional Staff Congress, that is saying this is a two-sentenced bill. The bill doesn't say, you're not saying that the bill is illegal. The bill is not saying, you're saying that the bill is illegal because it violates your collective bargaining. What you're basically saying is it prevents you from stealing from those retired persons to use what they have to finance something you want to bargain for. And that's why he abstained in this last vote. That's egregious. And that's two union presidents now, two union leaderships from two different unions. We're going to continue. This is now showing you a theme. The Municipal Labor Committee is lying to every single one of you by stealing a health benefit, saying that they negotiate or that the unions negotiate for retirees. You know how we know the unions don't negotiate for us? When this case first started in 21, Alan Klinger mocked us in court and said we should have filed a grievance and not have filed a litigation. So to prove that he's a moron, we had all of our several thousands of retirees call their former unions, the ones that had a union, and say, hey, I want to file a grievance on this. And what did the union say? Oh, come on, you know what they said. I'm sorry, we don't represent you. You can't file a grievance. A union can collectively bargain for an active member and their future benefits. They cannot bargain for someone who's no longer in their bargaining unit, period. Thunder. Have a nice day.